What's up YouTube, Capital G here, talking about the Link Vrains box in this video and why more than likely we in the TCG are about to get seriously screwed over by this product. A lot of people aren't really noticing this, and I really haven't seen anybody talk about it, but I think as we edge closer to next year, especially when we learn everything that's in Extreme Force, I think it's going to become more and more clear that this product is ultimately just a problem, and more specifically getting the cards to the TCG. So if you guys don't know what the Link Vrains box is, because some people might be like, what is this guy even talking about? The Link Vrains box is a brand new product that's about to be released in the OCG. It comes out on Friday, if I'm not mistaken, and it's focused around kind of like the anime characters and their archetypes. The main focus in this product is like Goki, Trickstars, and Rockets. You also get a reprint of like Firewall Dragon, Trickstar Holly Angel, Goki the Great Ogre, and then Borlo Dragon, but they come in their alternate art. So it's kind of like one big value. You get a mix of old cards for those archetypes, and then you get a mix of some really new cards, and a lot of those new cards are really good, especially like the new Goki Link 2. He's one of the new cards that's in there. I would say that he is imperative to playing Goki at its highest potential. The new Trickstar Link 3, also Revolver has a new monster in there that's a Link 2 that's really, really good for Rockets. And the thing is, this set is a really good deal. It's a really good, nice collection of value cards, especially for people who don't own Borlo Dragon and Firewall Dragon, but its existence isn't really the problem. The problem now becomes, how is Konami going to get us these cards in the TCG? And I say that because, and I hope a lot of duelists in the TCG have realized this by now, the Link Vrains box is actually very, very similar, like dangerously similar to the Dimension box, which obviously is a very polarizing product in the TCG. A lot of players in the OCG, I mean, they loved it. They got a bunch of new anime cards, and then you had a bunch of old anime cards that worked with those archetypes, and it was just a nice little neat package. You got the Dimension Dragons as well, so they were thrilled to get the Dimension box, but you guys know as well as I do, not only did we never get the Dimension box and the TCG, but then Konami had a very, they had a terrible game plan when it came to giving us the brand new cards. It seems like they just kind of randomly threw them in over the year 2017 in whatever pack they could put them out in, and the biggest tragedy is the fact that we still haven't even gotten all the cards from the Dimension box. This is a product that came out in the last week of November 2016, and we still don't have all the cards in the TCG. How on earth is that possible that Konami had an entire year and they couldn't give us all the new cards? Obviously, you know what I'm alluding to. All the Fluffle players right now are screaming at the sky in rage. We don't have Fight for Patchwork yet. Fight for Patchwork is one of the most important cards in that entire archetype. It makes them so much more consistent, and it was released in the Dimension box because obviously Sora played him in the anime, and we just never got it. So that's a card that, like, it's just a hindrance on the archetype, that one of its best cards was never actually released. Hell, I could even go on about how Melodious got screwed over because Ostinato has yet to be released as well. That's another card from the Dimension box that is key to that archetype. The only reason you don't hear people constantly complain about Ostinato, but you do hear them bring up Fight for Patchwork is, let's be real, like, Melodious don't really have a fan base. I mean, you got me, you got Yuzu from Arc V, you got another YouTuber named Azalea, and I mean, that's pretty much the entire Melodious fan base right there. It's just 3 people, and one of them is imaginary, so I'm not even sure if she counts. But if you look at how Konami gave us these cards, right, it seemed like at the beginning of the year that we were going to get a ton of them, and I was like, oh, okay, we're off to a really good start, because Konami right out the gate in Raging Tempest, they gave us Wind Witch Glass Bell, and I was like, all right, we get all the Wind Witches at once. But then it just seemed like, I don't know, they just kind of found reasons to throw cards in. A lot of times the timing didn't make sense. You guys know that I was sitting around half the year twiddling my thumbs saying, are we ever getting Kaleido Check? Like, what's the deal, man? Then they decided to just randomly throw her in Circuit Break alongside of Luna Light, Crimson Fox, and it's just, I don't know, it's really baffling, and I feel like it's going to happen a second time. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to say, okay, Cap G, maybe it's not that big of a deal. Konami can obviously do with the, they can do with the Link Vrains box what they did with the Dimension box, but I kind of feel like it's going to be even more difficult. And some of you might already know exactly where I'm going with this. It kind of goes back to the Link Vrains pack. The fact that we're not going to be getting it in a TCG, or at least, well, this is speculation. I still can't for sure say that we're not getting a Link Vrains pack because it's Konami. Who the hell knows what they're doing at times? But let's just go on the assumption that we're not going to get a Link Vrains pack, right? So those cards that were in the OCG Link Vrains pack, those 20 new Link monsters, it seems like right now they're taking most of them, or at least half of them, and they're going to be importing them in Extreme Force. They've already shown us 3 of the cards in Extreme Force, so let's just go on the assumption that 10 of them are going to be in Extreme Force as imports. Okay, well then it would only make sense for them to make the other 10 in Flames of Destruction, which is going to come out in May. Well, then where exactly, like, where's the room left for them to import the cards from the Link Vrains box? It just doesn't seem like there's any room now. So, you know, what they would have been able to do was, had they given us a Link Vrains pack, they could have given us the Link Vrains box cards in the first couple of core booster sets, but now that's not going to be an option either. And I guess Konami could do something completely unheard of, and maybe they could increase the size of like one of the booster sets, like Flames of Destruction. Instead of it being a 100 card set, maybe they can make it like 110 cards, but Konami has no precedent for doing that, and they've already announced Extreme Force is exactly 100 cards. So my question is, where exactly are they going to import these cards? Where are they going to find space to get these cards in our game? You know, we have another core set in Cybernetic Horizon, which should come out around August. That just got announced in the OCG, but I mean, are we really going to have to wait all the way until August to get these new cards? Are you telling me that Goki are basically going to suck dick until then? And the thing is, like, archetypes like Goki and Trickstar, they're getting more support in Flames of Destruction. So if you have that new support come out, but then you don't have the other support from the Link Vrains box, then it's like, what is it going to matter? That, like, the archetypes still aren't going to be complete. And I don't know, man. Maybe Konami will pull a new set out of their ass, but it seems like they really kind of, the decision to not make a Link Vrains pack is actually hurting them in a completely different way. And it seems like they backed themselves into a corner where we need a bunch of these cards, but there's just not going to be any opportunity. And again, this doesn't even, you know, mention that some of the OCG imports like Fight for Patchwork and Asinato, how the fuck are they going to find room to put those cards in? They still have cards from 2016 that we want that they still haven't given us, let alone these new cards. So I don't know. Right now it feels a little bit like a clusterfuck. And again, the reason that I think we're ultimately going to get screwed over is because Konami has now a history of this. I kind of want to know what you guys think, because yeah, I really see us getting screwed over. And it's not just the new cards that are in that pack that are relevant, but what about the alternate artworks? I mean, if I'm not mistaken, didn't the alternate artworks of like Clearwing and Starving Venom and stuff like that, didn't that come in the Yuya box? So like, I don't know, maybe they will release like a Yusaku box or something like that later in 2018 and we'll be able to get it. But at that point, we've wasted like almost the entire year. So it's giving me some very bad vibes. And I'm surprised that a lot of people haven't realized this, that every new card in the Link Vrains box that's really good, it's dangerous, because we have no idea how exactly we're going to get that. If Konami does release it, then bravo to them. But if we're not going to get the Link Vrains pack, then, and we didn't get the Dimension box, I don't know why at this point anybody would think that we're actually going to get the Link Vrains box in the TCG, because it is basically a sequel to the Dimension box. And actually, this is my fault, because I went ahead and I looked at the Dimension box spoiler list, and there are still so many cards that I haven't even mentioned that still have not come to the TCG, like Super Heavy Samurai have a Synchro monster, Flower Guardians have the Synchro monster, the one with that, you know, the girl chick that's holding like the fan. Yosenju's have a spell in there that we still haven't gotten in the TCG, and it's like, how long are we supposed to wait for these cards? Like, it just doesn't really make any sense that an entire calendar year can go by and we don't get the cards. So I feel like Konami needs to make a much better plan when it comes to these big kind of OCG packs that Konami gives them over there, you know, about getting these cards in the TCG within a timely manner. And when I say a timely manner, I'm talking about just within the next year. Anything after that is utterly ridiculous. Like, do you guys think that it's acceptable that the Arc V anime is completely over? over. Like, everything's done, and we still don't have Fight for Patchwork, and it's like an integral card to the deck. So I feel like Konami has to find some way, either if it's going to be making sure that all the cards have like some type of scheduled release dates for the next year, or just making a new set, maybe something that they'll pull out of thin air, maybe like a gold series or something like that, where it ensures that we get all the OCG imports released in the last year in the OCG, unless there's some weird reason where the OCG just doesn't want us to have them. But that doesn't really make a lot of sense. Why would they not want players to have these cards in the TCG? It just, I don't know. I don't think that there's any like legitimate reason there. So whatever you guys think, leave it in the comment section below. Do you guys think that I have a point? Do you guys think that this is not going to happen at all, and I am just, I don't know, I'm starting the hysteria for nothing? Anyways, thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already. Turn on that notification bell for daily videos.